everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a lot of Wizarding World related news. Now a lot of it has to do with J.K. Rowling, so stick around for that one. But first, I want to do something really lighthearted. So stay tuned for J.K. Rowling and other actors that have been feuding with her because we have a lot to discuss. First off, Rupert Grint has had a second secret child, so it was leaked on the internet, but then he actually went out and posted something. So here is his baby. Her name is Goldie. So Goldie G. Grint, which is a great, interesting name, but I really want to point out all the comments. Another Weasley, red hair and hand-me-down robe. You must be a Weasley. And it's just, it's funny to see all these comments and all these Harry Potter memes. Like, how many are there? It's just something lighthearted to start off because there is a lot to discuss in this video. Moving on, we have from entertainment. Now, this one kind of drives me a little bit nuts, and I've been holding off about discussing it, except for the last sentence that just kind of annoyed me, that you'd have to bring real world politics into Harry Potter, because I guess that's what people do nowadays. So like I said, this is from Entertainment Weekly, and it says Harry Potter Jason Isaacs calls Lucius Malfoy racist with their shit son, trying to make Hogwarts great again. So here's the thing. Lucius Malfoy's, the whole Malfoys, they are absolutely racist. He's 100% correct there. But do you have to do the whole make Hogwarts great again bullshit? Can't you just leave real politics alone for 2 seconds? It's like they have derangement syndrome at there. It's Mark Hamill almost. Anyway, I just wanted to point this out and read this quote here. He comes from a loveless home, and I come from a long, unbroken chain of loveless parenting, Isaacs continued. And to play that Popinjay and that racist, it might be magical, but the parallels are pretty transparent. Someone who doesn't think that muggles should mix blood with wizards, and somebody trying to make Hogwarts great again. And it's like, ugh. And if you don't understand, he's referring to himself as Draco Malfoy's father, Lucius Malfoy, in the Harry Potter movies, and it's a bit annoying, isn't it? But now there's another thing about Jason Isaacs, and I do want to ask this question to you guys, because he says, now this comes from people, he says that his portrayal of Lucius Malfoy will be long forgotten by this time next year thanks to the new Harry Potter series. We don't even have to read the article, we can just read that title and be like, really? Do you think so? Because the way this is currently going, I actually don't think this show is going to be all that memorable. And a lot of people love his portrayal, me included, love his portrayal of Lucius Malfoy. So I'm like, And besides the fact that we never meet Lucius Malfoy until book 2, so they're not casting him right now for him as in the character. No one's casting the character right now. It's gonna happen in book 2. So anyway, let me know your thoughts below if you actually think that Lucius Malfoy, Jason Isaacs, his portrayal will be completely thrown out the window by this time next year or the year before that. Because honestly, I don't see that happening. Now let's keep going, because like I said, we have a lot of talking to do about J.K. Rowling and her feuds, which are spicy. So real fast before we get into J.K. Rowling and everything, there was an extra in the Harry Potter movies that discussed how much she was paid for a minor role, and I thought that was a really fun fact. So it says Harry Potter Extra reveals how much she was paid for a minor role as new HBO series begins casting. Samantha Clinch, known for her role as Eloise Midgen in the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, opened up on TikTok about her experience working on the films, including what she was paid. Clinch, who also appeared uncredited in Prisoner of Azkaban, revealed that as an extra, she earned 35 British pounds per day, which breaks down to just $2.91 an hour during 12-hour filming days. We would be called to breakfast to be in the holding area outside the set for 5 a.m. in the morning and then be leaving at rush hour on the bus in heavy traffic. When she was given a name role in the 4th film, her pay increased to 70 British pounds per day. Honestly, little did I know that day when I was going to set, the day would change for me and my bank account. Anyway, let's just jump into the whole J.K. Rowling debacle. Now, this comes from Deadline. Bridgerton Nicola Coughlan, I think I say Sarah Coughlan, whatever, she's Irish, slams HBO Harry Potter project, wouldn't touch it with a pole. Now, I don't know Bridgerton, I've never watched it. I've watched Downton Abbey, the real deal, not some Netflix bullshit show. But I know her from Dairy Girls, which was on Netflix, ironically. And it was a fun show for the first few seasons. The last season wasn't very good in my opinion. Bridgerton actress Nicola has made her feelings clear on trans rights with a swipe on social social media at Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. The Daily Mail newspaper reports that Cullen, who previously expressed her displeasure with the ruling as stomach churning, shared an article on Instagram with the headline, "A New Low for J.K. Rowling." Cullen wrote of HBO's new Harry Potter series, "Keep your new Harry Potter, lads. Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole." Of Wednesday's ruling, which was the Supreme Court in the United Kingdom, to see an already marginalized community being further attacked in law is really stomach-churning and disgusting, and to see people celebrate it is more stomach-churning and disgusting. So yeah, and then it goes on and tells about Emma, Rupert, and Dan, but we already all know that. So I just think it's funny how, wouldn't touch it with a pole. I bet you honestly would. You just are pissed that you never got the part. Let's be real. Or whatever part that is. She could be Professor Trelawney or something, she's kooky enough. Now there is this video right here from Tariq, which by the way, I have no idea who this Tariq is. So let's just play this video and see what he has to say.
This is some serious Voldemort villain shit right here. J.K. Rowling is reveling in the fact that she helped the UK Supreme Court get to the point where they can define that trans women are not women legally, right? She's just so proud of all the work that she's been doing over the last few years to stoke hatred and fear into the general public about a very small minority population that's already some of the most misunderstood people on the earth. She's so happy about it. She's so cocky about getting the same royalties about whether or not you burn or read a Harry Potter book. So I think it has become our mission as the general public to make sure that every single thing that's Harry Potter related fails. That means posting in every single Harry Potter TV show update that comes out, in every single article, posting in the comments that trans rights are human rights, that trans women are women. It means not buying a ticket to Universal to go and see Harry Potter World. If we could boycott Starbucks and McDonald's to the point where they saw massive dips in their sales and had to literally close a ton of stores because the general public just wasn't supporting them anymore, then I sure as hell think that the general public could just make sure that Harry Potter is no longer profitable for anyone that dares to do business with J.K. Rowling. Because that shit, that awful, disgusting shit, that has consequences.
So anyway, I don't know who the hell this guy is, whatever, but the thing that I want to talk about is this comment right here from Pedro Pascal, who, by the way, is he, him, in case you had no idea. Anyway, he says, "Awful, disgusting shit is exactly right. Heinous loser behavior." I didn't know that fighting for women's rights is loser behavior, but please do explain more, men, on how she's the loser and you're not misogynistic whatsoever. But anyway, I digress. What did J.K. Rowling have to say about Pedro and Nicola? Well, I'll tell you what, it was another fatality. James Dreyfus? Thoughts and prayers with J.K. Rowling today after the tongue lashing she's received from Nicola Cullen and Pedro Pascal. Check spelling here. I'm sure she'll reflect on her heinous loser and fat crimes and issue a double-spaced written apology any day now. So J.K. Rowling responds with, "I can't be bothered to Google. Who are they?" And I'm just like, damn. Fatality. This savagery. And it's true because they're like peanuts in comparison to her. Neither one of them has done anything remotely successful as what J.K. Rowling has. But sure, go ahead and call her loser behavior. Wild. Wild. But it gets worse because some dude named Boy George gets into the conversation. Boy George is an English singer, songwriter, and DJ who rose to fame as the lead singer of the pop band Culture Club. Now, I don't know this guy. That doesn't mean anything. He could be really, really famous in the UK, but I'm not from the UK, so I don't know. Anyway, he goes and has a sparring match with J.K. Rowling as well, because why not? So he says, "Stop this nonsense that if you don't agree with J.K. Rowling, you hate women. She hates men. This is where the truth lies. She cannot differentiate between a trans woman and a biological male," which is weird with her imagination, which is a wild statement. Anyway, she responds back going, "I'm married to a man, George. I do not hate men. I simply live in a reality where men, however they identify, commit 98% of sexual assaults and 88% of victims are female. Trans-identified men are no less likely than other kinds of men to pose a risk to women or girls." So there's all the fatalities of the week. But wait, there's even more. John Lithgow and Dumbledore Backlash. I wonder how J.K. Rowling copes. So this is an interview with the Times and John Lithgow. After first playing Roald Dahl, his most anti-Semitic in the phenomenal play Giant, which has transferred from the Royal Court Theatre to the West End, John Lithgow thought he knew everything about being a vilified author. Then it was announced that he would play Dumbledore in HBO's forthcoming 10-season Harry Potter series. Now, I think that's wrong. It's 10 years, but it's 7 series. Why are there 10 seasons for Harry Potter? There's 7 books. Unless they're splitting the last few seasons into 2 parts, like part 1, part 2. Who knows? I hadn't intended to show you this. I'm not even sure I should, Lithgow said, adjusting his black rimmed spectacles as he scrolls through his phone. He shows a text from a friend, a link to an article titled An Open Letter to John Lithgow. Please walk away from Harry Potter, the article claims that J.K. Rowling is anti-trans and attacked trans kids directly, saying there are no trans kids, no child is born in the wrong body. Meanwhile, over on Lithgow's normally cheerful Instagram account, there are endless comments from people telling him the same thing, that to act in something connected to Rowling is analogous to donning a Ku Klux Klan hood. Damn. Had Lithgow expected this? No, absolutely not. Of course not. It was a big decision because it's probably the last major role I'll play. It's an 8-year commitment, so I was just thinking about mortality and that this is a very good winding down role. It had not escaped his notice that Richard Harris died while playing the Wizard in the films, and Harris's substitute, Michael Gambon, went not long after hanging up the cloak. I mean, over a decade later, but okay. But the only concern he had about the fan base, he says, was whether they would accept an American as Dumbledore. But before it was even announced that he had the role, he received a text from a very good friend who was the mother of a trans child, and that was the canary in the coal mine. Lithgow has played trans and gay characters in the past, but his eyes widen with amusement at the rage Rowling inspires. I thought, why is this a factor at all? I wonder how J.K. Rowling has absorbed it. I suppose at a certain point I'll meet her, and I'm curious to talk to her, so the criticism doesn't put him off. Oh heavens, no, he says. We are sitting in a restaurant close to Lithgow's home in Beverly Hills where he greets the waiter by his first name. But it'll soon be a goodbye to all of this because he and his wife of 43 years, a history professor, and blah, 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 moving to London for almost a decade. Blah, 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 blah. So the article continues more about the rest of the interview, but doesn't pertain to anything about J.K. Rowling or Harry Potter, so if you want to read it, go check out the Times. But the point was that people are still attacking the actors for joining the Harry Potter casting. So much so that there are still comments on the Harry Potter Instagram page all about the Snape casting. Where is the Half-Blood Prince? Not my Snape. Weird, where's the hook-nosed, greasy-haired, sallow-skinned potions professor? Not you literally avoiding Snape in every post you make just because you know we are not happy with the cast. You can't erase the Snape we love. You could honor him, but decide to change him. You see what I'm saying? Recast Snape, recast Snape. There's so many of these. In fact, there's literally a Not My Snape movement gathered. It's not really gotten very popular. However, it exists. There's lots of people there who are pissed off. Now, there's actual apparently movements. In fact, there's a change.org. Wow. Petition against Papa Ezadu playing Professor Snape in the upcoming Harry Potter HBO series. Damn. That's nuts. I don't really see them relenting on the comments anytime soon, but it's just so wild. And if you even go, like, Nick Frost has still, like, disabled his comments for certain things. Let's see what he's done since. So this is his last post from 3 days ago. It's literally a slow roasted chicken thighs. It's literally a food post, and comments on this post have been limited. I wonder why that is. Comments limited. Comments limited. You see what I'm saying? They're all limited. So anyway, guys, that is the really, really quick Wizarding World Roundup. There's Harry Potter TV show news. There was J.K. Rowling. There was some little fun facts for you guys. And if you like this type of content, let me know. If you'd rather me make separate videos of all the topics, let me know. This is kind of an experiment. So anyway, I'll see you guys all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.